Okay, dear students, so now we have to understand about the what is actually water resources. So in class 7, you already studied about what is actually hydrological cycle or what is actually water cycle. Because we know it very well, without water resources, so we cannot survive. So not only for the human beings, so water is also required for the animals as well as for the plants. So that's why we have to save water. Okay, but if I will say about the percentage of the fresh water, so it is very little compared to the, okay, that means if I will say about the oceans and the seas, okay, so definitely these rivers are actually containing the salt water maximum. Okay, that's why, okay, it is not suitable for the human beings as well as for the plants as well as for the, okay, if it's about the animals, so they can drink the water from the seas and the ocean because it contains the salinity. So that's why if I say about the fresh water, so fresh water, where we actually get from the fresh water? So definitely from the groundwater. Okay, so groundwater, it actually contains the fresh water. So look at your surroundings, you can also see that means this is called the, okay, ground. And definitely if I will say about the ponds, if I will say about, that means the rivers, okay, the ponds, streams, so these are called the water resources. These are called the resources of the water. So where do we get the fresh water? But nowadays we have to understand about the water scarcity issues. Nowadays, okay, due to the growing of the more population, due to the urbanization process, due to the industrialization process, so nowadays the water resources are actually depleted. That means we can say the water resources, it is actually day by day, okay, decreasing. What are the main factors? Okay, anyone can tell me about in chapter number 1, development chapter, in economics, you already studied about, okay, the groundwater, it is over exploiting in where? In the Punjab and the Haryana region, Punjab and Haryana region. So who can tell me about what is the main factor? So anyone can explain me about the water resources, it is actually day by day decreasing in the Punjab and Haryana region. So who can tell me about what is the main factor? Anyone? Can you tell me about the groundwater, it is actually day by day decreasing in the Punjab and Haryana region. So who can tell me about what is the main factor? Over irrigation. Very good. So clap for him. So over irrigation. So it is the main factor. That's why, okay, in Punjab and Haryana region, okay, so the farmers, they are actually utilizing the HIV seeds, chemical fertilizers and the pesticides in their agricultural land. And due to the over exploitation, or we can say over irrigation process, so the groundwater, it is actually day by day decreasing in the Punjab and Haryana region. And if I will say about the cities, okay, so that means if I will say about the urban areas, so nowadays the freshwater percentage day by day decreasing. Why? Due to the industrialization process. And for the industry, definitely we know it very well, the water resources are required. So if I will say about the cities, due to the growing of more population and due to the ever growing demands of the population in the cities, definitely they are requiring the more water resources for their daily use. So that's why, okay, nowadays the fresh water percentage, okay, day by day decreasing. So now we have to understand about what are the main factors for the water scarcity. Okay, write the answers. Open your copy. So first we have to understand about, okay, this is called the factors. So the factors of water scarcity. So in general, so these factors are actually the real factors for the water scarcity in nowadays. So first is what? Over exploitation. Okay, so over exploitation means what? So nowadays, due to the growing of more population, so definitely we need the more water resources. Okay, and next is what? Next problem is, okay, if I compare to the rural areas, in cities nowadays the population rate day by day increasing. Also, if also about the Bhubaneswar, so before the 15 years, before the 10 years, the population rate in Bhubaneswar and nowadays the population rate of Bhubaneswar, okay, it is completely different. Nowadays, due to the development of the industries, due to the development of the factories, the people, they are actually migrating from the rural areas to cities in search of job, in search of employment. Okay, why? Due to the more opportunities in the cities, due to the more opportunities in the urban areas. That's why the people from the rural areas, they are actually migrating from, okay, their respective region to the cities in search of employment, in search of job. That's why the population rate day by day increasing in the cities or in the urban areas. So that's why this kinds of situation, it is actually happening in the cities. Okay, over exploitation. Okay, due to the growing of more population in the cities. Next is what? Excessive use. It is another factor. So we know it very well whenever we talk about the uses of water. Okay, so who can tell me about, okay, in class 7 you already studied about the land resources. Okay, and also in class 8 you already studied about, okay, that means the formation of soil and also the uses of land. So who can tell me about the uses of land? Anyone? We are actually using the land resources for the, okay, various purposes. So who can tell me about the uses of land? So like land, we are also using the water resources in our life. Okay, so we know it very well, land is a natural resources, and if it's about the water, it is also natural resources. But who can tell me about, okay, the uses of land and the uses of water? We are using water for the daily purpose. Okay, for the various purpose we are using the water resources in our day-to-day life. But you have to tell me about, okay, the uses of land, then you have to tell me about the uses of water. Anyone can explain me about the uses of land? We are using the land for the various purpose. Okay, example, yes, for the agricultural purpose we are using the land, for the constructing of the, okay, construction of the buildings as well as the roads. So definitely we are actually using the land resources. For the various purpose we are actually using the land resources, because without land resources, so we cannot survive. So it is actually the important asset for our earth. So if it's about the water resources, definitely without water resources it is very difficult for the human beings to survive in the world. And if it's about the excessive use, so due to the growing of the more population, we are actually using the water resources not only for the drinking purpose, we are also using the water resources for the, okay, cooking purpose. We are also using the water resources for the cleaning our floors or cleaning the houses. We are actually using the water resources for the agricultural purpose. So various ways, then various purposes are there. So that's why due to the growing of more population, we are actually exploiting these resources. Which resources? Water resources. So nowadays, day by day, the water resources, the percentage of the water resources or the fresh water percentage day by day declining. Okay. The next is what? An unequal access to the water among different social groups. In chapter number 1, resources, you already also studied about it. That means what? How? That means we can say that rich people and the poor people. Okay. So rich people and poor people means what? Rich people and the poor people, they are actually divided, okay, due to their, okay, because why? Whatever they are actually having the resources in their life. Okay, those who have more resources, definitely we can call to them as rich people, and those who have less resources, so they are called as the poor people. Okay, and those who have no resources, definitely they are also called as the poor, and those who have less resources. So that depends upon their resources. So here the unequal access to the water among different social groups means what? Example, if I will take an example of the Ambani, Adani, okay, Tata, Birla, so definitely they are the rich people. Okay, so due to their requirements, so definitely if the poor people, if they are living in the slum regions in the Mumbai, okay, so during the time of any water issues in the Mumbai, so definitely they are not getting the adequate water facilities, they are not getting the proper water facilities, or they are not getting the water resources, okay, or water facilities in their respective regions during the time of any issues in the Mumbai. But those are living, example if I would say about the richer sections of the people, those are living in the Mumbai or in the urban areas, so definitely they are getting the more waters because they are rich, they have more resources, that they have more money. Okay, that's why they are actually exploiting the nature. They are actually, okay, this is called the, they are actually creating the differences between the rich and poor. That because why? That they have more money, that's why they are actually utilizing the resources more. Okay, and those who have the poor people, okay, they don't have any resources in their life, so that's why they are actually poor. So that means in India, the rich and the poor, okay, these kinds of scenario, these kinds of situations are actually happening due to the what? Due to the various social groups. That means some social groups, they are having the more resources in their life, that's why they are called as the richer sections, and those who have the less, okay, those who have less money or the less resources, so they are actually called as the poor, okay, poor sections of the society. So this is called the unequal access to the water among different social groups. So different social groups means what? The richer section and the poor people, or the poor sections. So richer sections, they are actually enjoying the sophisticated life or the luxurious life in their, okay, and if I will say about the poor people, so definitely they are not, okay, enjoying their what? If they have less money, so definitely they are not enjoying their resources. So this is called difference between the rich and poor. So then we have to understand about other factors of the water scarcity. So other factors, now we have to write about, okay, the other factors of the water scarcity. Nowadays the water scarcity issues, okay, it is actually happening in our nation. So first we have to understand about, okay, how can we actually, okay, how can we conserve the water resources, and what are the main factors of the water scarcity. Before I also already discussed about the water scarcity, then we have to understand about how can we manage the water resources, or how can we conserve the water resources. Okay,